And then Goldberg, that was just a fucking complete mess. Like, him coming out like, you're disrespecting the legends. Like, when Drew won the title, he was basically, like, saying, like, how now that he's, like, the big dog, like, he wants to help people backstage and, like, be a helpful hand. Clearly, I read a thing that they said that he was supposed to, like, trash the veterans and they ran out of time. But then Goldberg just sounded like a complete idiot. Like, Drew has been, like, the most respectful guy ever. Now he's like, you're disrespecting legends. Like, no, he didn't. So shut the hell up, buddy.
Do you think maybe he thought he was Randy Orton?
Maybe. I don't know.
How much sense did that make, dude? Orton's going backstage, disrespecting everybody, and then McIntyre does nothing wrong, and Goldberg's like, oh, you're disrespecting all the legends, eh? Like, what?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
The whole show was just a complete clusterfuck. I can't say I'm surprised, but, jeez. You put all this time and energy putting in a legend show, and it just was a fat out. Just another episode of Raw. You bring all these people in to do nothing. It's what it is. I mean, it's classic WWE, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It was the show I was looking forward to. It was the first Raw of the year. I really thought they would kick off the show on a better note than they did. They didn't. The Keith Lee and McIntyre match was great. Again, I just actually had the interview with Keith air at the beginning of this show that we're doing right now. I think Keith and McIntyre really killed it. McIntyre winning clean was fine by me. You know, Keith should not have lost to Miz and Morrison a couple of weeks ago, but him losing here clean to McIntyre did not bother me. The Goldberg stuff. You mentioned it right there a little bit. Let's address the elephant in the room. We're getting McIntyre and Goldberg for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, as opposed to Roman Reigns versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, which was the match we all figured would happen. Goldberg and Roman literally said, you're next to each other on Twitter, on the bump, whatever. They've addressed it so many times in the last couple of months. You had to know the match would happen, will happen at some point. We're not getting into the Rumble. I thought that was the perfect place to do it. Clearly, they're continuing the Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns stuff, which is fine, and I like the feud, but if Owens ain't going to win, then what's the fucking point? And it just makes him look more like a loser than he already is currently. But yeah, with the Goldberg-McIntyre stuff, break this down for me, Mr. Marceau, because again, I said this on Twitter on Monday night. I don't hate the idea of the match happening. I honestly think it might be a better match than we could get from Roman and Goldberg if you have Drew in there instead. My problem is if Drew loses, it's just you're once again sending the wrong message, and we're once again in the same fucking spot that we find ourselves every fucking year with this company as far as putting a part-timer in a main event spot for a world title, and they're walking in as the world champion. I mean, Roman and Goldberg have done it so many times by this point. They've literally had a part-time champion going into WrestleMania for like the last 5 years. It's just completely ridiculous, dude, why we continue to fall into the same trend. And I know it hasn't happened yet, but I'm getting angry because I feel like they might do it again.
Well, yeah, I mean, it came out of left field, like you said. It came out of left field. I don't know what they were doing. It just seems like this was completely rushed. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I get it. Maybe they're trying to just do Goldberg because they don't have anyone for Drew now. But, I mean, if Goldberg wins here, honestly, you might have to start doing the Raw review by yourself because I don't think I could stomach Drew losing to fucking Goldberg in 2021. I don't think I could do it. I'm sorry.
The Fiend losing was bad enough, but I kind of figured there was a chance of that happening. This would just serve zero purpose. And again, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but like if Keith Lee wins the Rumble, maybe he can beat Goldberg. But I don't want to fall into the same formula of Goldberg winning a belt and then losing it to a current star. Why don't you just build up Keith Lee another way without having him beat Goldberg? You know who else beat Goldberg? Braun Strowman. Where the fuck is he right now? The answer is nobody knows, and a better answer is nobody cares. And I like Braun Strowman, but like the guy benefited absolutely nada from beating Goldberg at WrestleMania. I know that came out of nowhere because the whole Roman Reigns situation, but you would think they would at least capitalize on it. No, Braun feels even less special now than he did a year ago, and now that's after he's beaten Goldberg. And I know it has to do with Goldberg specifically, but the answer is no. Drew should absolutely not lose the championship.
Yeah, I just don't get it. If Drew loses, like I said, you're going to have to watch Raw by yourself because I'm fucking done.
You can do McIntyre and Sheamus to WrestleMania, and you should. Originally, that wasn't my idea for a WrestleMania match, but I think it should be. I mean, they're doing it at WrestleMania regardless, obviously. They're not going to give it away at fucking Fastlane at this point, or Elimination Chamber or whatever. But I think it should be for the championship. Even if Drew wins at WrestleMania, I think it should be for the championship. I think that makes the most amount of sense.
No, I completely agree. Sheamus and Drew's the story right now. I mean, they can, even if you... Realistically, what they should do is if Drew faces Goldberg, beats fucking Goldberg in Royal Rumble, which should happen, no fucking ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I don't really know how you do the setup from there. I think you could just... Sheamus clearly should be the next challenger, and if Drew takes on someone else at Elimination Chamber, and Sheamus is kind of still, like, on the side, he can be like, what the fuck? Like, I helped you out when you beat Brock, or when you beat Randy. I did the whole fucking Celtic, like, his new gimmick, basically, like the new Scottish, like, with the sword, like, helped you out, like, I've been there on your side, like, what the fuck, like, clearly you should be giving me a chance, and then he can just turn on Drew, then make it, like, the brother thing. Like, they have the story there. I don't know how they're going to get to it. Like, the story's already written. They just need Sheamus to basically be like, you should have given me a title shot. I haven't got shit yet. Everyone else is jumping me. Basically, that is. But, like, yeah, no... That's a WrestleMania championship match. Don't fucking put on Goldberg, and then we're fine.
Yeah, Goldberg can still compete at WrestleMania. I just don't know putting the... What'd you say?
No. Done with Goldberg. Done with Goldberg.
Wow. Well, he's got 2 matches a year, so he's going to have to wrestle at some point.
Just write him a check. Not worth it.
So you're just basically saying, let's not and say we did.
Correct. Like, I don't need to see Goldberg at WrestleMania. His matches aren't good. Move on. I'm a Goldberg guy, and I'm just like, at 2021, I don't want to see him on my TV anymore. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think what would be even worse is if he beats Drew, and then he faces Roman in a unification match at WrestleMania, like you pitched to me on #AskGSM.
But why would you do a unification? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't think they're going to do that. Whoever made that graphic, listen, if they are right, that person is fucking Notre Dame, because I don't see them doing that. If anything, I see them having Goldberg win the belt and then facing Keith Lee. Because I know Keith Lee was originally scheduled to be in a WWE title match at Mania anyway at one point. I don't need to see Brock win the Rumble. I'm done with all that shit at this point.
Yeah, I'm completely right there with you.